So this is a primer. This is a book that children would have used in school. And books were very valuable. So we know that there would be one book in the middle of the classroom and everyone would crowd around it. And we know that because there are letters from parents to teachers that say, please make sure that our children learn to read from all sides. So this was very, very important to be able to read upside down and from an angle, because you only had one book. They would sort of crowd around in the classroom. Of course, there would be no furniture because Egypt doesn't have wood. So everything would be cushions and drapings and fabric. And that would be the school environment. And we know that even girls were schooled because we have community records that showed that the community chest would pay for the schooling of orphan girls. So if orphan girls are schooled, pretty much everyone is schooled. At least in certain times, most children were schooled. And we also know, for example, that it was not just Jewish kids that would go to school, but they would also invite the neighborhood kids. There's a ruling by one of the big rabbis that allows non-Jewish kids to also come to the synagogue to learn to read. And there are different skills there. I mean, reading and writing are two different things. In our culture, it's sort of one skill, but back then there would be a lot of people who would only be able to read, for example. You would not necessarily be able to write. Yes, and we have a lot of really exciting stories from the classrooms because children are basically described in these letters by the teachers to parents, or they are described by the letters from parents to the teachers. So we have a lot of very, very lively information about what went on in those schools. There's this one child, Abul Hassan, and Abul Hassan is a bit of a know-it-all, it seems. So he's a very, very studious, precocious child. And the other children bully him, so they take his sort of the writing pad that he uses to write, and they break it in half, the writing tablet. And basically, the teacher then writes a note to the parents and says, "I'm really sorry, but please don't sort of punish your son. It wasn't him; it was the other kids was another kid who bullied him that broke his writing tablet. So it wasn't his own fault."